go to. Hey guys, welcome aboard. We got 4 of us here today so far. I'm gonna play something for you. Ooh. Because you haven't seen it in like 2 weeks.
Oh God.
All right, everybody, welcome back. I hope everybody's doing well. Is everybody? Oh, here we go. We've got.
What do we got in here?
I gotta stop hitting this damn thing. You're gonna click the mouse now. All right, Bob, how we doing? Bob, Sam is yo. What's going on, Sam? Lee, happy holidays, Lee. Yeah, there we go. Happy Krampus Eats Children Day. Very beautiful, Sam. Of the Norse. There we go. God of War and Death, by the way. If we were being historically accurate, everyone should be getting room temperature mead and battle axe. There we go. And of course, the infamous
Jason.
Jason is here.
Hi, Jason.
Sean is here. Everybody has made it. Look at how good that picture looks.
It really does.
You can really see the bags under my eyes.
Oh, no, not at all.
Like big time. Oh, all right. Now I can talk. Dan, how we doing, Dan?
Can't hear nothing.
Can't hear nothing.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Well, it might not be his problem. It might be us. No, we've got lines. We've got things. I mean, our we're outputting.
Yeah.
Yep. No, we're not muted. Everybody can hear us, right? Except for Jason.
Yeah. If anybody else can't hear, sound off in the chat so we know. Amanda
made it. Amanda. I don't know which way I gotta lean. I don't think she was here last week. Oh, it's your card's like right behind me. All right, Sam can hear me. Jason, what are you talking about? Why are you screwing up the show? He's just gonna throw his 2 cents in. Sounds break a bit the louder you got. All right, I'll stay away from the mic a little bit. We'll pull those down a little bit and hopefully not output too much nonsense. There we go. A little better?
Yeah, I need better. That intro that we have is so cool.
That's loud as fuck.
Yeah, but it's so cool.
Right? A little bit of breaking up issues on the audio. Oh, here is my life.
It's always something, right?
All right.
It can never just be.
I mean,
flawless.
We're streaming at the right amount of, we got all the gigs. Yeah, there we go, Sam. Awesome.
Yeah, I swear I still have blood somewhere on my skin just seeping through from that shoot.
It was fun watching the Riley squirting her from over and over. There's still like red on the ceiling over here.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Right oh my gosh, there is.
Yep, I got to paint. All right. Well, let's see. One problem with YouTube versus Facebook. You won't recognize some of your people. Yeah. Hey, Craig, how you doing? Yeah, thanks, guys. All right. It's the holidays, guys. Number one, what have we been watching? What horror movies have we gotten thrown out for the Christmas? Has anybody did you watch the new one with the guy from Stranger Things?
Are you talking about Violent Night?
Yeah.
No, I haven't had a chance to watch it. Obviously I was out yesterday because I had food poisoning. I have not had any time, unfortunately, this week to watch that. But I've heard it's really good. My coworker watched it and she loved it. So I've heard good things.
Awesome. I might have to watch that tonight. Now it's actually on Amazon Prime now. You can rent for like $5-6, I think. Kavik. Way too long, brother. I hope you feel better. I'm sorry you got bronchitis.
Ooh, that sucks.
Ugh. Yeah. And it's been too long since we've spoken. We need to catch up. Everybody else, I hope your holidays are going amazing. You're getting all the little evil gifts that you want to get for yourself and your significant others. We did talk a little bit this week about Rare Exports is really good. Pause on the night to tune in. Thank you, Nicole. We appreciate that more than
How
you'll ever
great.
know.
Dedication.
How is it? How
Nicole.
far deep are you, Nicole? How deep in are you? And what do you think so far? Give us a little live feedback. This picture looks really good, man.
It really does. I like this. Probably my favorite
I
setup
think
so
we
far.
got my new favorite setup. The lighting looks right. Jay, do we not have enough light? 20 minutes in so far? Well, you're still in Act 1, so you're just getting characters introduced to you.
Right.
You probably don't even understand who Santa is for real yet. Yeah, but that's definitely one I gotta. It might even become, because I've gotten so many good reviews back from it. I hope it might become one of my Christmas must watches, including. So Christmas Eve is always Casablanca for me.
Casablanca.
So Casablanca, I'll sit like either during the day or at night. I'll catch up and watch Casablanca every year. One of my favorite movies of all times. Has everything you could want except for horror. I mean, you got romance, you got action, you got intrigue and mystery and spy movie built into it. It's a great film, but it was just a tradition. Now my brother and I both do that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what me and my sister do as a tradition? We go around and we judge people's
crappy
Christmas lights. No, we leave them the nastiest notes if they
do you critique and leave a note?
We do. Like sometimes we're nice. We're nice sometimes. Like sometimes people really go all out and it looks great. But then other times they look like they just threw lights on to do it. And I'm like, don't even do it then. So we're not like.
Was that you who left that note at my front door?
No. But maybe next year.
Yeah, you can see how much I decorated for this year.
Yeah, one year we actually had somebody like try to follow us because they caught us doing it, and that was a little scary. So we stopped doing it for like a year or two, but I think we're gonna do it. I think
COVID's over, so I mean you got to get back into that.
Exactly. We had to give them a point.
All right. First of all, which sister?
Oh, this is Bailey, my younger. So not my youngest little sister. She's 21. So.
Not the one we took to haunted houses last year.
No, but she's old enough to be introduced into the tradition now. I feel like we can make her the runner.
We'll make her the runner.
I'm the driver.
Go put this on the door. Go put this on the door. I love it. So we talked a lot this week about doing this ghost story podcast. So we're gonna try that a little bit as part of this show tonight, and then break it apart separately next week. And I'll do my thing on Wednesday, and I don't know what night's going to be good for this. We got to dial that in. Mm-hmm. I mean, with your work schedule and and everything else we got to do.
Yeah, I rushed here today because I had to work a little
bit
later.
I mean, literally started the video, the 5-minute countdown as she got through the door.
I was running.
Oh, look, Horror TV is live on YouTube. I just got a notification. Thank you, YouTube, for notifying me. Let's see. When are we getting her on Horror? She is Horror Hotties, dude. She's been the original Horror Hottie. The story about how Bex and I met was probably 2018.
I think so. I think that's when we figured it out.
So I was on my way to the gym and I stop at GNC and I'd pick up a pre-workout, like a little jug or whatever, and I'd slam it down on the way to the gym. And she was working behind the counter, and I just started talking about this horror TV concept so many years ago. And she's called bullshit on me. I don't know how many times over the last 5 years.
So many.
And then all of a sudden, here she is sitting here, and we did. I got you. He met your younger sister on Horror Hotties. What is she? 14 now?
No,
18 and above, please, for Horror Hotties.
Yeah. So my older Bailey, she's 21, but she doesn't like being in front of the camera very much. She's very introvert. She wouldn't really enjoy it, but maybe Taylor when she's of age.
Taylor would eat it up like
she would love it.
Brunch. I mean, she would just go to town. So I think part of the concept and the way we've talked about doing this particular podcast is doing it like an old school radio show where people can tell their ghost stories, and then maybe 3 or 4, however many we put out there, and then somebody gets the best ghost story of the night. Maybe we do a little prize at the end of the thing for, maybe they get a free sub. They want a free subscription or something.
Yeah, or like maybe a free sticker or something too. You can send them.
Oh, we do better than a sticker. We're not that broke yet. We can please.
Craig,
I hope we can do better than a sticker.
Craig says there's some delay, like a little bit of a delay.
Oh yeah, no, Craig. There's absolutely a delay from when we talk to, when we get feedback from you guys. It's about 8 seconds. Gives us time to make sure Bex isn't swearing or saying anything inappropriate.
Hurry, gotta keep me censored.
Yeah,
Too
it's
dirty.
gonna. So when we do the call in part, you're gonna have to turn off your radio or turn down your whatever you're listening to the show on. You got to turn it down, otherwise it's gonna feedback and it's gonna be about 8 seconds late. Oh, Jason can hear now. Yes, because it wasn't our problem.
Sam says it sounds good, so that's great.
Yeah, no, that was Jason learning how to use his Google phone.
Well, that's your problem.
Yeah. I mean, we could do the laugh track over her swearing. I mean, or more appropriately, probably the little doesn't work the same as Facebook like 30%. Oh, damn, it's that long, huh? That's crazy, man. Yeah, no, Facebook's about 8 seconds. I never tested YouTube. But so the concept is, you guys, each of us will come up with a different story for the week, maybe 2. I might have 2 tonight. I don't want to burp right into this microphone. After drinking club soda, brilliant idea on air.
Haha button.
Yeah. You blended right into that so well. So, it's just like the old school. You and I both come up with a ghost story for the week. I think I've got a pretty good one, and then even at some point we can break those into TikToks.
See, I love that.
Right? That makes me laugh. Oh, good. I'm glad it makes you laugh. Have you heard all of them? Here's the thing that we do when we get bored. We get the crickets going when people are talking things. I make assume you're poor. Yeah, right, Sam. And then we have floating off into dreamland.
Oh, I love that.
And then we have the warning before the spoilers. And then when you say something stupid.
Oh, I like that.
We can do.
I feel like I'm gonna get that quite often.
We're gonna probably. There's Jason. And we do. And then we laugh at ourselves. Appropriate. The things that we can buy in 2022. All right. Rim shot. Yep. Right there. That's the light blue button if you ever need it. All right. So as I was saying, there we go. It's an iPhone, but I've heard iPhone's actually just for business. Oh yeah. So the idea is you guys call in. Bex and I can pull you into the board here, and we can hear you through the headphones and then talk to the mic. And we're going to listen to your ghost stories, and then we'll come up with a wonderful, wonderful idea for a prize for whoever has the best ghost story. So that'll start next week. I'm going to stop trying to remember to post a thing every week about when the show is. There's a way now to do it automatically. So it just says every Wednesday at 6:00, this event takes place. Boom, 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 boom. And then you guys will know, what we're talking about. We'll put a little bit of more information into each one. And then the people that want to call in, why don't you start on that invite or that, the post for the event, start talking about, that you have a story that you're interested in. Give us some ideas about what to pull in.
Everybody's got at least one.
Oh, I know, except for Jason.
Even if you don't believe in ghosts, come on.
Right.
Everybody's got
something spooky that happened.
It almost made me question.
Right. So I know Bex. Okay, I'm connected to the roadcaster. Beautiful. I just wanted to make sure that. That's why I heard the beep of the notification through the. Yeah. All right. Now it makes sense.
Sam says, "Boy, do I have a story."
Yeah, Sam's going to call in tonight. Sam is one of our first. No, not victims. Guests to call in and give us a ghost story. Let's see. Oh boy, do I have a story. Let's see. I've heard voices before. That's a ghost. It could be.
Could be, or could be that you're crazy.
Well, it could have been somebody else in the house too. All right, so let's see. Why don't you start off, ladies, first?
Okay.
And give us your one or two. No, let's go back and forth. You said you had 2 for today?
Yeah.
All right, so you do one, I'll do one, and we'll go back and forth. And then we'll bring Sam in to do his. And then if anybody else is interested, we will absolutely start talking to you guys too. Let's see. Let's show that so we have something going across the bottom. And then I think we actually have. Is that? I don't see the background going. Do you?
No, I don't think so.
There,
there it
we
is.
go.
There it is.
Now I feel better. I got all confused for a second.
Now we're in the creepy hallway.
Right?
Gotta set the vibe. So my story actually, so my first one is more of an experience that I had when I went to Jerome by myself. So I had just broken up with a boyfriend at the time and I just needed a getaway. And I had always wanted to go to Jerome because I heard that it was such a huge ghost town. There is just, I mean, even if you're not from Arizona,
Right.
you've heard of Jerome, you've heard of the haunted hotels, the jails, and all that stuff. So oddly enough, I was not in that area with the hotels and like the restaurants. I was down at the museum, and it's the mining museum that they have down there.
Right.
And first of all, if you've never been there, it is beautiful now. And it's huge. It's a really cool museum. If you ever get a chance to go, I would recommend it, especially if you like historic stuff. They got a lot of information there. But the creepy part about it was that they back in the mining times when they were mining for coal, there were about 15,000 people that were consistently there digging, working, getting sick, having weird stuff happen to them, dying.
And this is in Jerome.
Yes, this is in Jerome.
Okay.
And a big thing back then was a lot of people were addicted to opium, and they were doing.
Well, back then that was good for you. Right?
Yeah,
they
yeah.
rubbed it on your teeth when you went to their dentist and stuff. That was something that was just normal.
The crazy stuff.
Didn't they
that
put it
people
in
used
ketchup,
to do.
or didn't like Coca-Cola have opium in it for a while?
No,
No, cocaine.
No, it was cocaine.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Sorry. That was a tangent.
now they say only about 400 people actually reside in Jerome, but back then there were about 15,000 people, and you got to think, the crowds and just God knows what was going on down in those mines. So I went to the museum and I was walking around, and I have always had this very big like intuition in general, and I can walk into a room and I can tell you if I have a bad feeling, something's happened. The whole time I was there, it wasn't like this super creepy, like scary presence, but there were presences, and I was almost so overwhelmed that I wanted to leave, but I was so enveloped in what I was like actually there for, which was the museum and all that. So I stayed, but there was this one moment where I was walking through and there's an actual entrance to a mine where it's like a drop, and I don't know what you call those.
Mine shaft.
A mine shaft. So there's a mine shaft, and you could literally walk up to it, and there's like a cage that you can look over, and like obviously you can't get in and just like drop down, but you can look over and you just see pitch black. And I kid you not, when I looked over that mine shaft, I got the worst feeling I have ever felt in my, well, maybe second worst, because my other story is pretty scary too, but the feeling that I got was so eerie and just so dark, and like it was just like you could tell that there was some really nasty stuff that went down in that mining shaft. And I'm sure, obviously there's going to be good spirits and bad spirits, but the feeling I was smacked with scared me half to death. And I left as soon as I saw that mine shaft. I was like, all right, I've seen what I need to see, and I'm out. Time to go.
Awesome.
So yeah, I mean, it is a really cool experience. Like I said, if you ever get to go over there, it's so cool to see. But yeah, I would be interested to see if anybody else maybe has the same sort of feeling or something similar. Maybe they even see something.
Right. So I've told my good ghost stories on here already. I don't want to keep repeating myself over and over. So I did go out to the internet and I found some true ghost stories that have happened in different parts of the country. And I think we're going to have to go there because you and I are going to run out of ghost stories after about 2 shows. So I think we're going to have to do something along this line as we bring and we recognize something that's happened to somebody else out into the light. And yes, glasses are going on so I can actually read this. So let's see. We're going to do this one first. This one creeps me out a bit. So these came from Reddit. So I've never lived in a haunted house, but my mother did as a teen, writes Reddit user. I'm going to skip it just because. Recounting a true event, other houses on her street had strange things going on. A few homes away from her lived a family. One night, the daughter went to bed with a bad headache. The next day, she was dead, passed away from an aneurysm. After
awful.
after her funeral, the family went to get their minds off the tragedy, and the father asked their uncle's mom's brother to check up on the pets. Mom and dad, who were dating at the time, went with them. Mother heard there was a grand piano and she wanted to play it. And dad was studying to be a veterinarian. So after entering the house, the uncle and the father headed to the basement to see the animals, and the mother went to the piano on the ground floor. She was playing it when she felt something brush her ankles. She thought a cat must have left it in the left in the basement and walked
That would
past
have
her.
been my first
Right,
guess.
right, absolutely. She kept playing, and then she felt it again. So she looked under the piano and saw nothing, nada, zilch. And so, let's see, saw nothing when she started again. She felt hands clasp her legs tightly.
Heck no.
So she dashed to the basement door, called her uncle and father, and waited for them. So back outside, the uncle could tell that she was rattled and asked what was wrong. And she told him what happened. He turned white. He told her the daughter who had died used to play a game with her father. When he played the piano, she'd crawl underneath, grab his ankles, and push his feet up and down on the pedals.
What? That's insane.
Exactly. Can you imagine being sitting there and just freaking out? And this one got to me because it was very similar to my original story that I told people. And I'm sure I've told you that one, but can you just sit there and then just to think it was a cat, and then
you look down, there's nothing.
And nothing.
And then later on you find out there's a logical spiritual explanation from the father, at least if you believe in that.
Or at least or it was a cat and she just missed it.
And cats are quick. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. So those are the kind of stories we want to hear from you guys. And the more close to home, the better. These are more, the more authentic they get, the better. The lore can be passed on, if it's lore, if it's more real. Dun.
Personally,
do we have a dun dun dun?
I think it's real.
Nope, that's not the dun dun dun. No.
We have a wah wah wah.
We have a wah wah. There's a cricket. Nope. Oh yeah, that's definitely not the right one. All right.
We should get a dun dun dun.
We need the dun dun dun. Yep. And then we're gonna need an opener and closer. We got to build this whole crazy thing out. And hopefully in a couple of weeks we're gonna be doing this 4K.
Oof, yes.
Because we want to see the pores in my nose.
It's almost not even fair how good we look now.
I know. Can you imagine? I mean, you get 4K and we're done.
We may have to go back.
They're going to know what we actually look like outside of all of this makeup. All right. Should we let Sam call in and do his, or do you want to go on your second one?
Let's see if Sam responds and see if he's ready to go.
Sam, you ready to give this a shot? This is only my first time answering the phone on this board, so let's be kind. Not make fun of me.
Not at all.
Right? Sam, you around? Sam's always ready. All right, dude. Number. I know I've got it built into one of these things here. There's the call in. Oh, boom. Now let's see if it actually works. And nobody calling interrupt Sam's call, because then there's going to be call beeping. Don't be rude.
Don't be rude. We're all friends and family here.
Uh-oh. We got to go back to the chat. I can't read that little one. Yeah, the Law and Order sound would be amazing. That would be hilarious to have a law.
That would be perfect.
Sam, we're just waiting on you, man. There he comes. Let's see.
Call from Sammy.
Let's
Accept. Press 1.
Let's let Sammy in. All right. Sam, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh, my God. I
Clearly?
can hear you.
Yes.
Look at this.
Awesome.
Look at this. Making it work. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh boy, it certainly does.
All right,
That's fantastic. I love this. I love the 666. By the way, that's amazing.
It took a good hour and a half of searching phone numbers on
Same
Google
thing with
Voice to find one that even got close to working. I mean, it's so many. You look at a keyboard or a phone keyboard for so long trying to figure it out, and it just drives you nuts. But then I saw 666, and I'm like, all right,
good to go.
Yeah, that's money. That's money.
And it had
Or
a 2 in
that
front of it.
TV
266. Sunday.
You got the voice for that.
Okay, so I guess I should ask you before we start. Do you want this to be clean?
Fuck
this
no.
isn't clean, bro.
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, let's not rape elves or
wanted to
anything
say-
right before Christmas. Let's not kill. Yeah, spoilers. Let's not kill Santa. Let's keep it, for the kids that listen.
Well, Santa's not getting killed,
All
but
right.
it is a little fucked up. Well, it's actually very fucked up, but that's okay. Like I said last week, this is a situation that involves a gas station burrito,
Oh
a
The
porn
gas
store,
station burrito story. Yes.
and demonic possession.
Oh, absolutely.
So this is a real story that really happened to me, and as fucked up as it is, maybe once you hear it, you'll be like, oh, that makes sense why that guy's so strange. So it was probably 20 years ago, okay, and it actually was about 3 days before Christmas. So the timing is perfect, right?
Right.
I'm out and about, I'm like 19 years old, just smoked a big fat fucking joint, right? So I'm stoned out of my goddamn mind. And I used to live in this little place called Richmond, Kentucky, which is, it's, part of the Bible Belt. Like,
Sure.
Everybody's either going to church or fucking their cousins. So, not much to do there.
Right. Sorry.
Starving to death. Stop at a gas station. I go in. I heat myself up. You remember those like 1 pound?
Yep. Yeah,
Fat
they were
ass
like
burritos
they were like a foot long, and they
What?
they were,
Oh yeah.
and they were
I'm
like
living on my own.
gigantic. Yeah.
I could never.
From a gas station.
Starving to death.
Right.
So I go in, I get my little gas station burrito. I come outside, I'm eating it. Across from the gas station is a porn store. Okay. And it was the only porn store in the county. I mean, maybe even in the southern part of the state. I don't know. But it always had this real creepy vibe. Not that porn stores don't normally have a bit of a creepy
You mean that
vibe.
building without the
Always.
windows over by the highway? Yeah, they never have a creepy
Yeah, well,
vibe.
Creepy mannequins in
This
the window.
this one in particular was haunted.
Uh-oh.
And that's not a joke, because they had a guy. This was one of those particular porn stores that had what they call the quote arcade, where guys go in,
Yep.
you shove money in the machine.
There might
you
be a
jerk
little
off
hole
on
in
the
the
wall and
wall.
you leave.
Yeah. Right.
What?
Yeah. So there was a guy who was over there. I guess he was, turning the crank a little too fast, flexing, and had a massive fucking heart attack.
Dead.
Died in the
Just
thing.
dead.
So,
Died in a booth.
No, he
that
did not.
fucking died.
Pants down.
Laying, shivering in piles of other guys' load. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm like all your body fluids just release when you're done
I
anyway.
don't
So
even think about that.
that's just
Yeah, they don't mop those fucking things. So you're looking at like
Who would
3 or
take
4
that
loads
job?
ago. This guy's laying it.
Right.
So everybody said that it was haunted. I'm like, I'm high. I'm eating my burrito. I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna check this out. So I go in. There's nobody in there except for the guy behind the counter. So I'm kind of perusing.
Overalls, no
I'm
shirt.
still eating my. What's that?
Overalls, no shirt.
Yeah, what's this guy look like?
Yeah.
the last
he was
person you see on Earth, right? The last guy you ever remember.
He was extremely thin, with a beard that did not match his face, and a trucker cap, and he looked like the kind of guy that, I mean, you would expect to be working in a southern pornography store. Like, he had that look like he was maybe going to hold you hostage or tie you up, drag you into the bathroom. So, I mean, the mood was perfect.
Right.
I finished my burrito, and I've got fucking hot sauce all over my shirt. I wander into the arcade area. I've never been, okay? Never been to the arcade.
Right.
I've never jerked off in public on a TV screen before, but I'm thinking to myself, you know what?
This might be
3
something to
days
try.
before Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm 19. I don't know if you know this about 19-year-old men, but that's all they think about.
Yeah.
That's the only fucking thing that comes in and out of our brain.
You can
Actually,
even
I'm
just
40
get
and
rid of
that's
the
about all I think
19
about.
and you'll be
Men.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, men in general.
Yeah.
So I go in. I don't hear anybody. It's silent. I go in. I shut the door behind me. I feed a one into this thing, and porn comes up. And, I'm still all bloated from my burrito here. And I proceed to do the deed. Now, you said you wanted authentic. This is about as fucking authentic as it gets, bro.
Yeah. No, it's out there for the world now. Remember
here.
this. All right. Go ahead. You're standing there.
Fine.
You're standing. Yeah, I guess you don't sit, do you?
No, God, no. You wouldn't want to
you wouldn't want to sit in there. Right.
I'm standing, and I'm turning the crank, and I'm having a pretty good time. Well, then I start to hear thumping in the stall next to me.
How big?
I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Did you say thumping or humping?
Thumping, like somebody
TH.
beating on a wooden door.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's freaking me out, but I'm reaching that point that we all reach when we're jerking off, where you're like, I don't know that I can go back from this. Like,
right.
It's going to take
you just finish and you take the consequences.
Exactly.
Yep.
So I'm standing there, and I know that there's somebody in next to me. Now, you had mentioned holes. Well, this place did have holes in the wall, and at that point, I didn't even know what a hole was, but there was a hole cut in the wall. Bro, this fucking hand. Like, when I say Gollum, that's the only thing that comes to mind. It was thin, scrangly, looked almost kind of fucking scaly. Long yellow fingernails. I'm not joking when I say that. Like 1.5 inches long, pointy yellow fingernails. This hand fucking shoots through the hole and tries to grab my cock. Well, I fucking scream, right? Scares the absolute. Literally
what are you
the shit
doing
out of me
right
because
now,
I
Sam?
just ate a burrito. What's that?
I'm crying, man. I said, what are you doing to me right now?
I
don't stop. Just keep going.
Burrito.
Just go on.
Just ate a burrito.
Right.
So I literally shit myself a little.
Right.
This
of
thing
course.
has
Of
me
course
backed up.
Of course you did. Right.
This thing has me backed up against the fucking wall, bro. Like it's clawing at me, and there's hissing going on. Like, what the fuck? I tear the door open. I run out. I did remember to put my cock away.
That's good.
I go and I grab the redneck at the front. I was like, something just tried to fucking attack me in there.
Right.
He rolls his eyes and he goes, God damn it, Gerald. He fucking storms out from behind the case, walks into the arcade area, starts beating on the door. He's like, Gerald, get out of there, you piece of shit. Come on, man. Quit fucking with people. This thing, and that's the only thing I can call it. It looked like it was almost humanoid. Burst out of the arcade area wearing a fucking mask. This is not a joke. And goes out the back door. I am fucking horrified.
What are you talking about?
Because what the fuck are you
No way I'm blowing a load now.
No. You're done.
I said to the guy, I said, what the fuck was that? He said, well, his name's Gerald. He's a pretty regular customer, but man, he's got some issues. I said, do you fucking think? Do you think he's got fucking issues? He said, yeah, man, he's real weird. He used to like be real into the Baptist church, and something happened. They thought he was possessed by the devil. They tried to do an exorcism on him, man, and it went real fucking bad. I was like, Jesus. No shit, it went real fucking bad.
Clearly.
He said, so what he does, man, he comes up here and he'll buy these blow-up dolls, and then he cuts the fucking face off of them and wears them when he goes into the jerk booth. No. And then he tries to grab dudes and suck their dick. I was like, why would you let him in this facility? He was like, well, you know, man, he makes pretty good money. He pays us. He said, what's weird, though, is he always leaves, like raw meat in the stall. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He said, bacon. Bacon? Fucking bacon.
What?
What kind of buffalo bill
I guess.
Right.
Well, I mean, you know, when you're wearing a cutoff.
Right. No, you got a few issues.
And attacking dicks through a wall, of course you're going to need a snack. Why not a little raw bacon?
Yeah, get it on.
Game on. Did you just say game on?
No, I said get it on.
Oh, well, this took
horrified.
A turn. Yep.
Horrified, still half an erect penis. I went to the car. I climb inside. There's Christmas carols playing.
This is why Sam is the way he is today.
I still have sauce on my shirt, and I'm fucking traumatized. I still have PTSD from this. I will never,
Sam,
as long
I
as
have
I
PTSD.
live, go into another porn.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to walk
I
into
will
a castle or
never,
anything ever again.
ever go into another porn store as long as I live.
Dunzo.
So there you go.
I believe you've
That
never
is-
jerked
that is
off in
my-
public again, too.
Oh, that was it. One time.
Yeah.
One time only.
Yep. No, that would ruin it.
I still do like the large gas station burritos though.
Yeah. No, thank you.
They didn't do you wrong.
No.
That's a crazy
So,
story.
This is
Yeah.
still better than that Christmas we ate at Shoney's.
It is.
That's
I don't
Dan,
know
of
about
course.
that,
That's
man.
Dan. That's Dan, of course.
Dan also said he tried to
Yes.
grab your precious.
And Bob says, I sense a future Meet the Carvers plot.
That would be good.
Oh yeah. We actually kind of worked that. We were considering doing one where it was actually a haunted strip club, and a stripper who was working the pole fell and broke her neck, so she haunted all the customers, which I think that's very funny. But
Right.
yeah. That's that's my Christmas ghost story. I know that's a little
Awesome.
crazy, but
Well, you want to hang out
Thank
while
you
we
for-
do
thank
while we
you.
do Beck's second story, and then you got two for us, right? Sam?
do I have two for you? I mean, I can do another one, sure.
Yeah, of course. Well, we're gonna stay on the we're gonna let Bex do hers, and then I'm gonna do mine.
Okay.
I'll let you do your last one.
Okay, so
All right.
But
sure,
of course,
works for me.
feel free to interject into her story any kind of funny comments you want to make the podcast a better podcast.
right. Okay, so let me just paint the scene a little bit. So I was in high school, it was my senior year, and I was working a job at Fry's, which is like my first job. And I worked there with one of my friends. And my family had been experiencing these hauntings. Now, this was in the house that I lived in, mind you. So, like, this was in our house.
Right.
We had been experiencing between our family of 5 just the weirdest things, like seeing just like random silhouettes go through the hallways. And we'd only lived in this house for a few years, so we were kind of new to these experiences. So Taylor, my littlest sister, she was a baby at the time. So this is baby Tay. She's in a crib, so cute. Well, she had been experiencing these night terrors, and she would wake up in the middle of the night standing up in her crib, and she would be staring off into the corner, and she would be pointing and screaming in the top right corner and just bawling her eyes out.
That's creepy.
Screaming. And, she can't talk yet. So we weren't sure if it was just her maybe not being awake all the way or, but it kept happening consistently at the same time. And it was around 2:40 in the morning. And that's like haunting hours. So take that out. Now we know that. So this is actually about me and my best friend, Taylor. Okay. They're both Taylors.
Right.
So my family had gone camping that weekend, and I had the house to myself with my best friend, and both of us worked at Fry's, right? So like we would go to work together, came back, stay the night at my house. So that's what we did. So it was a Friday night, and basically my girlfriend, she's Navajo, so she didn't really believe in ghosts or anything like that. They believe more in like nature and what do you call that?
Spirits.
What's that wild spirit animal that they believe in though specifically? I can't think of it. But she didn't have any sort of belief in the supernatural. I do, especially with what was going on. But she had stayed the night, and the night she stayed, we were watching a scary movie, of course, and she fell asleep on the recliner in our living room. I was sleeping on the couch. And I have to sleep in the pitch black, right? It's got to be pitch black, dark, quiet for me to be able to fall asleep. So I just shut the TV off. I'm laying on the couch. I'm facing the cushions, right? Because that's where it's the darkest. And I'm like in there. And all of a sudden, I hear like this distant like scream in my ear. And I was like, well, that's weird. But I ignored it.
I said that's weird. I heard a scream in my ear.
But like I was kind of used
I'm
to
sure it's fine. The neighbors.
and see, we had crackhead neighbors, so like they be outside doing crackhead shit. So I just ignored it at first. And it got closer, and it sounded like it was right behind me. And so I turned and nothing, of course. I look over, and my girlfriend, she is snoring, like fast asleep in this chair. And I turn back over, and I'm like, all right, whatever, like it's nothing. It's gotta be outside. This is when I almost shit my pants, okay? I'm laying there and I'm finally starting to drift back into that dream space. And all of a sudden, I feel something grab my shoulder. And I mean, like, it felt like cat nails grabbing me and pulling me backwards. And I jerked backwards on the couch, right? And I've never had a spiritual experience where I like physically was moved. And so I whip around and I'm like sitting up and I'm like, what the fuck just touched me? And she's still dead asleep on the recliner. Has not moved an inch, right? Not a muscle. She is just, and so I'm like, okay. So I stay up because at this point I'm freaked out.
Right.
And I'm like, all right. So I put on another movie. I don't even remember what I watched. It's probably some kid movie. And I finally go back to sleep. Now, this is where it gets weirder. So I did not tell her what had happened because one, I didn't think there was a point. She didn't believe. But two,
Hasten says it was me.
it was probably would have been a little scarier if it was you.
Wow. Right.
I love that sound.
Love the sound effect.
So I didn't tell her what had happened, and I went to work like normal. Okay.
Right.
She stayed at my house during this time. I worked like 6 to 2, and then I was gonna come home and drive her home. So I get home, right? And I come home and she is bawling her eyes out, sitting in my bedroom. And again, she's been home at my house alone this whole time.
Right.
Nobody, and at the time, we didn't have dogs, we didn't have cats, we were a no pet family. Probably why I have like 18 animals now. But
probably part of it, yeah.
She's bawling her eyes out in the bedroom, and I go back there and I'm like, Taylor, like, what's wrong? Like, did your boyfriend break up with you? Like, what's going on? Thinking it's not spiritual at all. She looks me in my eyes and she goes, I was in your bathroom putting my makeup on. And she's like, I heard something walking down the hallway. Like, okay, I don't know if that.
Yeah.
So there was footsteps down the hallway. And she said it sounded like chains were being dragged down my hallway.
Right.
And again, I was like, what the heck, man? Like, because she doesn't believe in spirits. She doesn't, it's not her thing. Right. But she was just white as a ghost. And I kid you not, I've never seen someone so scared. Like, so scared. And so then
Did you tell her that gets for using your bathroom?
Exactly.
That would have been smart.
So I proceed to tell her what had happened the night before. And then she's even more terrified.
Yeah, of course.
And so she tells me to this day, she's like, I would never go back to the house ever again. And we actually found out later, we had a medium come to the house because I told my parents what had happened when they got back in town. My mom had a friend that was a medium. And she came and blessed the house, and thank God things kind of cooled down after that. But man, she told us that there was this like dark entity that was actually following the spirit of a little boy that we kept seeing. Because my mom had been seeing another spirit in the house. And this entity was attached to that spirit and was basically haunting the spirit of this child. And that's probably why Taylor was being haunted as well.
That's probably exactly why Taylor was being haunted.
Yeah, that was like my big scary one where like I was actually touched, and man, I was changed after that day. I definitely knew there was something going on in the other world.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's so crazy.
No.
All right.
That is legit creepy.
Yeah, and that's that close to home stuff that makes us just chills up and down your spines.
Right.
So my second story is from the infamous Huntington College. It's just one of many haunted colleges in America, each with its own ghost stories. This comes from the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. The haunting happened in 1972 at a party hosted by University of Michigan students living on Ashley Street. A 15-year-old girl, who probably had no business being there in the first place, suddenly felt a strange bone-chilling cold, according to the Michigan Daily. In an attempt to warm up, she went upstairs, because heat rises, we guess. That's when things really went awry. One of the walls of the house started moving, and a black shadow approached the girl. Meanwhile, downstairs, posters were spontaneously popping off the walls and falling into a growing pile on the floor. The girl wandered back.
Hold on, sorry. This is Michigan, right? So
yeah, of course.
The cold could just be Michigan, and if it's Ann Arbor, I mean, it could be gunfire.
It could absolutely be gunfire. Let's see. The girl wandered back downstairs, where she found herself saying these strange words. I'm not. Answer that one right now. Let's see. An attempt to warm up, and I accept the responsibility for that. But where we go? The girl wandered back downstairs, where she found herself saying these strange words. The drugs and addiction were my faults, and I accept responsibility for that. But I was not that way deep down inside. I want to apologize to everyone involved for what I have done. What made those words even stranger was that the girl did not do drugs, let alone have an addiction.
Weird.
Her words didn't seem all that strange to the students who lived in the house. Before they moved in, the house had been inhabited by a man with a very serious addiction. The reason he no longer lived there, he had died of a heroin overdose. Has the ghost of Ashley Street made one more appearance?
Wow.
Dun, dun. Yeah,
That's
we gotta-
kind of creepy.
That's absolutely where we need that next
Bum, bum, bum.
that sound of
Yeah, that's creepy. I don't know, like not having any knowledge and then saying some weird shit like that,
yeah, that's so crazy.
and then finding out
I've-
later on. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I've heard of people being, like, I don't know if possessed is so much the word, but being, taken over. I mean, I guess you could say possessed, but by different entities like that. And it's very, very, very creepy.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Again, though, it was Michigan. It's Michigan, so I know why she was fucking cold. Michigan's always cold.
Michigan is always cold. Yeah, Kavik, I don't have anybody manning the phone, so it's going to have to be a one person at a time thing until we get that logistic figured out.
Put them on hold.
Yeah, I mean, what are we going to do? We can't stop in the middle of a story, put somebody on hold to answer. We need a bigger phone to do this. We need a
Mhm.
bigger phone to do this. All
One day
right.
you'll have a whole sport situation.
Ann Arbor sucks. All right, so that leaves Sam with one last story for us today.
Okay, well, so this one isn't as pornographic, but still pretty good. So
Break from that.
Dan and I actually back in the day used to do some very, very amateur ghost hunting. And one October evening, we put together a group of about 3 other friends and decided to go investigate. When I say investigate, we actually had a couple cameras, we had some digital audio recorders, we actually invested in some stuff to do this, did a little research, because why not find out what happens when you die,
sure,
right? I think that's the whole point. We had befriended these 2 crackheads. And when I say crackheads, they were absolutely crackheads.
I get you.
Real,
when you say crackheads, I believe you, Sam. I absolutely believe you.
Real fucking spastic. But they were renting this giant old farmhouse out in the middle of the country that was actually on the Kentucky Historical Registry. Now, this place was dilapidated. Honestly, it should have really been condemned. It was there. I think it had been there for like 150 years or some shit. Very, very, very old. And was reported to be a very haunted location. Despite the fact that this guy and his old lady are living there shooting fucking skag cut with fentanyl. So we show up, we go in, and there's spotty electricity in the house, different areas.
Sure.
We saw nothing for like the first hour or so, but we're walking around kind of provoking this thing because somebody had watched too many episodes of Ghost Adventures or whatever the fuck that show is.
Right.
Zach Bagans, the guy with fluffy hair that I don't like. Oh yeah, he's a guy that I'd like to beat with a tennis shoe. I'm kidding. I don't know. I just don't like his face. But anyway, it's like 9 o'clock at night. It's not nothing particular has happened. We've been there for about 2.5 hours, and we're walking through their, I guess you could call it like a foyer. They had these giant wooden doors that had been taken off their hinges.
Okay.
And as we're walking through and it's dark, I looked over and the girl that I was with was watching. Daniel was standing in front of this door. It was leaned up against another wall with nothing behind it.
Sure.
And this door fell forward, smacking Daniel in the back.
Assault.
And he
Assault
can
of
attest to
ghosts.
that. Very fucking weird.
Right.
And we picked it up. I looked at it. I mean, there was no way that this door just magically fell in the opposite direction.
Oh no.
So we go upstairs, and there was a bunch of shit that had been left there from previous residents. But one thing was like this old, creepy dollhouse cabinet.
Of course.
And as we're coming up the stairs, we stopped. Pitch black, silence. I got my flashlight out, and I'm shining it on this cabinet, and the fucking door opens. Like it literally, and I mean, real slow, creaky, like horror movie
the
shit.
door of the dollhouse or the door of the room?
No, the door of the dollhouse.
Oh, that's even
Opens up.
creepier.
That's even creepy.
Very
That's
Wow.
fucking
weird.
creepy.
Yeah, actually, it gives me goosebumps when I think about it. But you know, we were only there another hour or two, and we left. But it was I couldn't fucking explain it, especially the door. I mean, the door that hit Daniel, the dollhouse thing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe when we came upstairs, who knows? I mean, it was an old house.
A door problem, I guess.
What the hell, man?
But here's what's really fucking freaky. So when we went down into the basement,
Right.
And it's both freaky and sad and fucked up, but it was a place where they kept slaves. There were literally they were still there, chains on the fucking walls, bro.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awful.
How fucked up is that?
Right.
That's terrible.
How long
yeah,
did you
no, I
leave
mean,
Dan
they
in
treat
there
him-
then?
He might still be there. No, I'm kidding. It was very, very, very freaky, and then it burned down because I evidently one of the two idiots that were living there had a crack rock that went into an ember and just burned the whole fucking place down. So nobody will ever be able to investigate it again. But
And remember, don't
was-
crack.
Yeah.
That kind of crap will happen to you.
some shit that I legitimately could not explain. So
Weed's okay.
there you go.
Yeah, weed's okay.
Yeah, weed's fine. Weed's fine. Weed's
Stay
not
away
gonna
from
hurt.
the crack pipes.
Stay away from the crack.
Don't smoke crack. Don't shoot fentanyl. Don't
Yeah.
Come on,
Especially.
kid.
Be
What the
smart.
fuck happened? I mean,
Be
Do
smart.
better. Do
Just be
better.
smart. Do better. All right. Dude, thanks for calling in. Thanks for the great stories, man.
Yeah, those are interesting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're coming up on our
it's a
hour.
blessing.
Yeah, no, dude. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say thank you so much for having me. We love being on horror TV. We love you guys. I already got the pilot of Meet the Carvers. It's up right now. You can watch it. Dan and I are very close to releasing episode 2.
When you say very close,
and then it could be within a week, 2 weeks. We'll head up.
Awesome, man.
I believe.
I'm not going to hold you to it.
So,
I want you guys to get it right. I want you guys to be happy with it before we put it up. So, or
Yeah,
at
we're not
least
rushing anything.
95% happy with it,
Right.
because you're never going to be 100.
Yeah, we're not. No, but we spent a lot of time this weekend with Felissa,
Right.
who's obviously Dolores, Dave Sheridan. People know him from the movie Scary Movie, where he played Officer Doofy. But he's actually done a lot of other different work, and he's
Absolutely.
incredibly talented.
Absolutely.
Voiceover
Great guy, too.
actor.
Great guy. Yeah. All right. So
Well, thank you both. Love
thank
you.
you.
Yeah,
Let's
thank you.
I don't know. We need to talk soon, but I know I'm not going to do that before Christmas. So have a Merry Christmas and Merry Christmas to everybody else out there.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. We will, we'll have an idea how often we're going to do the show. Probably in about 30 minutes, because we're going to sit and talk about it now. So we'll get that locked in, and then we're going to start setting up you guys for being able to call in and get it right, and make it fun. Loved Sam. Thank you again, brother, for the stories, and we will catch you guys next week on Wednesday at around 6. We'll call it 6 p.m. my time. Later, guys.